Welcome back to the weekly sportscast with your hosts, Jay Gould and Brandon Skinner. In today's episode, we're going to be giving our thoughts and expectations and predictions for the AFC South, the home of our very own Jacksonville Jaguars, for this upcoming 2018 NFL season.
This week's episode is sponsored by Andrew Luck's personality. Good hit, big guy. Let's get into it. Well, the AFC South is definitely going to be interesting this year.
Yeah, definitely. It has the potential to be the best division in football.
Well, no.
Yes.
The NFC South still exists.
Yeah, but it has the potential to be the best division in football. I
If
didn't say they're
everybody's
going to be.
healthy.
If everyone's healthy, yeah, they're going to be good.
Well, we'll get into that in just a moment.
Oh, baby. All right. So, I've come up with some of my predictions for this division this season. And so, we're going to start from the bottom of the division, obviously, with the Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to finish fourth in the division this year. And they're going to go 4-12, in my opinion. This is assuming that Andrew Luck is not going to be the Andrew Luck that we've seen in years past. He's going to be held back by his health. I think he still hasn't even thrown a real football yet, and it's like 3 weeks away from the real season. When healthy, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league, I think. He's really good. But he's not going to be healthy, and this team, it's much like LeBron James' Cavaliers. This team without Andrew Luck is nothing.
Much like Aaron Rodgers' Packers.
Much like Aaron Rodgers' Packers, except the Packers have a little bit more talent on their roster than the Colts do. All the Colts have is T.Y. Hilton, and they drafted Quentin Nelson. So, I mean, that's wonderful, but they're not that good. And so if Andrew Luck is not the Andrew Luck that they need him to be, this team is going to be not very good. And they're going to be picking in the top 10 again in next year's draft.
Well, even if Andrew Luck is 50% of what he was, that's still better than Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And that's still a 7-8 win team. I think if he's 80% of what he was, that's guaranteed 9 wins. And if he's full 100%, they could usurp our very own Jacksonville Jaguars for the division crown.
No. Okay, that's a bold statement, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Jaguars are going to be a lot better than this team. The Jaguars are a much more complete team, even though they might not have as good a quarterback as the Colts do. Blake Bortles at 100% is about Andrew Luck at 75 or 80%, I think.
50.
75 or 80. I believe in my
50.
man, BB5. But I do think that these Colts aren't that good. That's the big thing. They're not that good. Even Andrew Luck can only do so much. And the reason why he's been hurt so much is because his offensive line has sucked so bad, and he just pulls back in the pocket. They have no run game. Their only good running back is Frank Gore, I think, who's like
He's on the Dolphins now.
Or who was Frank Gore, and he was like 80.
They have a very underrated running game. Marlon Mack's good. They drafted Nyheim Hines.
Who?
Nyheim Hines.
Who's that?
A running back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Andrew Luck is that entire team, which is not good for anybody, and if he's not healthy, this team's not going to be very good. So that's the bottom line. I think they're going to go 4-12 this year, and that's just my opinion. That moves right along to number 3, where we have the Tennessee Titans. I predicted them to go 10-6 this year. I think they'll split the season series with my Jacksonville Jaguars. With our Jacksonville Jaguars. Jeez. My bad. They're going to split it, so they're going to go 10-6, and I think the AFC South might get 3 teams in the playoffs this year, which is a bold statement, but, it happens. I think the Texans...
That's possible, but I don't think it's likely because I think the Chiefs and Chargers can both make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they'll win the... Chiefs and... Yeah, that's fair, but
the AFC South could definitely have 2 teams.
The Chargers always start slow, though. And the Chiefs always choke. So
the Chiefs get to the playoffs and lose in the first round.
And then choke. So I think the Chargers are going to start off too slow to make their way back, but that might come in a future video. Oh.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, I think we're going to be doing a series of this with like all the all the division previews before the NFL season, so get ready for that. That's coming. But back to these Titans. These Titans made the playoffs last year, and they made it to the second round after coming back on the Kansas City Chiefs, who choked again. Marcus Mariota, while he's a very marginal quarterback, I would say, he's marginal. So I mean, he's all right. He's no better than Blake Bortles. But they have a much more complete team than the Colts do, which is why they're so much higher. They have a run game in Derrick Henry. They have a solid offensive line. Their defense is pretty good, and so
Kevin Byard is one of the best safeties in the league. Delaney Walker is a very underrated.
Delaney Walker is good. Yeah. But I don't know why freaking DeMarco Murray retired. That was like the weirdest thing.
He's like cut him, and nobody signed him.
Yeah, but like I don't know why they would sign him because he's still pretty all right. But if they keep feeding Derrick Henry, they're going to be a good team, and they might sneak in the playoffs. And the AFC South could get those 3 teams in there. You think 10-6 is overshooting this team, or is it about right? Would they go 9-7 last year?
Yeah, they were 9-7.
All right.
I think 10-6 is definitely feasible if Mariota takes the big leap that they've been praying for. I mean, I do think he has a lot of potential. He probably will be better than his draft buddy Jameis Winston by their career ends.
No, I don't think so. Jameis is better than him.
Mariota doesn't grow up Uber drivers.
Or steel crab legs. Jameis.
But yeah, Mariota had more interceptions than touchdowns last year, which is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Granted, he does have a very shaky wide receiver core, but if their first-round draft pick from 2017, Corey Davis, steps up, like he did in the Patriots game, he had 2 touchdowns in that playoff game, albeit a loss. If he is able to make a leap and they can have the continued veteran safety net for Rashard Matthews, that's a great offense.
It's a great offense. I love Derrick Henry. I've watched him ever since he was back in Alabama, and he was just a beast. He comes from Florida. He played at Yulee High School, which is like 30 minutes away from where we live.
Duval native.
He was a Duval. I think, yeah, that's Duval, but he was born there. He has like all the records. He's a beast, and we've watched this. I've seen this kid pretty much grow up from high school into the NFL. I think he's just a beast, and even though he was kind of overshadowed by DeMarco Murray, which sucks, but now he's the future back, and he's going to get all the carries in the world. And as if you've seen Derrick Henry play, the more touches he gets in a game, the more deadly he becomes. He just starts to wear down a team. It's basically like having a linebacker run the ball. It's like having, I don't know, who's it, Luke Kuechly or someone. He's probably even bigger than Luke Kuechly. It's a big hoss running the line, running the ball, and it's hard for defenses to defend. So if they can feed him and run the read option with Marcus Mariota, who's another great runner, he's probably a better runner than he is a passer. Then Mariota's a better runner than he's a passer. He's a
great runner. Yeah.
He ran like a 4.54 at the combine, as a quarterback. I mean, that's almost as fast as me. That's approaching. Man, yeah, so he's good.
Let's not forget the Titans also had a good offseason. Beginning the Patriots 2.0 by nabbing Dion Lewis and Malcolm Butler.
Yep.
Butler will help that secondary. Even though he didn't play in the Super Bowl, he's still a great number 1 cornerback. Dion Lewis, they said that they're going to use Lewis and Murray as like 1A and 1B in the backfield. Because Dion Lewis is a great catching back.
Yeah, Lewis should be a 3rd down back, I think. He's a catching back, and he gives them more flexibility. Derrick Henry is all right at catching it, but he's a much better runner, and Dion Lewis is a much better catcher than him, so yeah, whatever. All right. That moves us on to the number 2 slot, where we have the Houston Texans going 11-5. And this is assuming they have a healthy Deshaun Watson and a healthy Whitney Merciless, a healthy J.J. Watt. So there's a lot of
healthy
ifs.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Jadeveon Clowney, yes, healthy. There's a lot of ifs with this team, a lot of health concerns. J.J. Watt, while he's probably the most defensively dominant player in the league, he's starting to get up there. He's getting older, and it's, I don't know if he's slowing down, but he's getting older and getting those injuries start to pile up and they start to add up. And that's not good for anyone's career. But if they stay healthy, this team is a surefire playoff team, I think.
Oh, for sure. They have explosive players on offense and defense. Deshaun Watson lit up the league.
I mean, kind of.
DeAndre Hopkins is top 3 wide receiver. Lamar Miller and Donta Foreman are a very underrated backfield. And that defense can be absolutely nasty.
Yeah.
If everybody's healthy. They nabbed Tyrann Mathieu, too. The
Honey
Badger himself.
The Honey Badger himself. Yeah, I think an underrated player on this Texans team is Will Fuller, the 5th or whatever he is. He came out of Notre Dame, I think, back in a few years back, and he's just a really explosive wide receiver, kind of like that Deshaun Jackson, Tyreek Hill kind of receiver where he's a big play guy. He doesn't catch much short stuff, but he's really fast and explosive, and he can take the top off of defense. Sort of like DJ Chark of our own Jacksonville Jaguars. Ooh, a really fast dude who can do his thing, and so I think this Texans team is good. I don't know if they're ready to make that leap. I think they'll probably make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round. But I think that...
Well, this isn't necessarily a young team. Because, all the guys we mentioned, if they stay healthy, those are all proven veterans. They don't really have any young guys who need to make an impact except for Watson.
Except for Deshaun Watson, yeah. And so Deshaun Watson at the most important position at quarterback. So I think he's a little overrated in my opinion. Which, I mean, might be, I guess, a shocker because everyone seems to love Deshaun Watson. They love Matt Clemson and whatever, but I think he's a great player, don't get me wrong. He's a terrific athlete, but I think he threw something like 19 touchdowns and 16 interceptions last year, or something stupid like that. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe we'll have to fact check me if I might sound really stupid, but I think he threw a ton of interceptions along with those touchdowns, and albeit he was a rookie, it does not look good to have that sort of touchdown-interception ratio. And, I mean, he only played 7 games, and then tore his Achilles, or his ACL.
ACL.
And no matter how young or how terrific an athlete you are, it's really shaky coming back from an ACL. You don't know, you can never be the same player as you were again. That happened to Jaguars this year with Allen Robinson. He tore his ACL, I think, and in the first game of the season. It's a devastating injury, and you can sometimes it really negatively affects a quarterback and a guy that relies so much on mobility like Deshaun Watson. It might wear on him a lot more than it would most, I think. So I wouldn't put all my eggs in the Deshaun Watson basket, I guess.
Yeah, I could definitely see this team missing the playoffs due to the terrible injury problems that have hit them forever.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully they're good. I mean, I love to see the AFC South representing, but
oh yeah.
I also have this Texans team split in the season series with the Jaguars. I think both teams will win at home, and I think the game at the end of the season in Week 17 will probably won't be. I think the Jaguars will have locked up their playoff spot and their bye week by that time, but the the Texans, not the Rockets, they're probably going to need that game to get in the playoffs, I think. So, I don't know. I think maybe the Jaguars try to knock them out, but the Texans should probably have an easy win in Week 17, which will boost them into the playoffs. So, that brings us to the number 1 team in the division, who we predict will be the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Who else?
Who else would it be? The most complete team in football.
On defense.
On everywhere. Jacksonville Jaguars. They're the most complete team in football in my eyes. I love them. I'm from Jacksonville. We're from Jacksonville. They're our team.
We're recording in Jacksonville.
Recording in Jacksonville. You know how it is. We're going to training camp tomorrow. Ooh. Spoiler alert.
Look out for that episode.
And so I think that this team is going to make leaps and bounds from last year when they had a breakout season, and I think that they're going to have an amazing season. Just going down some of the lists of games that we saw, there's not many games that this team is going to lose, I think, as I have them at 13-3. I think they have a favorable schedule to go 13-3. Hear me out.
We've one of the toughest schedules in the league.
Yeah, but it's favorable. Let's just hear me out.
Fair
they
enough.
Get the Giants in Week 1.
Oh, that's easy.
That's easy to have. Saquon Barkley, it'll be his first game ever, his first real game ever, and I think that plays right into our strengths. If we can lock down him, then Eli Manning can just throw up ducks to our secondary, and we're going to have another 5-interception game. I think we're going to wax the Giants Week 1.
I'm putting a 5-sack game.
5-sack game, 5 interceptions. I think Eli Manning.
Not happening.
We might knock out Eli Manning for the season, so watch out, New York Giants. And then we get the Pats Week 2, and everyone knows the Patriots don't always start super hot. So this is there's a time to play the Patriots. It's in the beginning of the season, and so I think we're gonna win that matchup too. Then we get the Titans and the Jets, which are 2 teams that are very beatable.
The Jets beatable?
Very beatable, I think.
Big Darnold,
even with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold plays right into our strengths.
Even with Robbie Anderson.
Any team that throws the ball plays right into Jacksonville's strength, which is their defense and their secondary.
Or if Isaiah Crowell.
He sucks. He's not very good.
I'm just kidding. We're going to the playoffs in 2019, my Jets fans.
Oh, okay.
There aren't any.
And then I think I'll give us a loss. I didn't even want to do that. I'll give us a loss to the Chiefs because I think their offense is very explosive, even more than our defenses can shut them down. And the Chiefs always play good in the first couple weeks of the season, so we'll give them that. And then we get the Cowboys, easy dub. I think Dak Prescott's way overrated. We lose the Texans just because I want them to split the series. We get the Eagles, last year's Super Bowl champs, but we get them in London where the Jaguars are undefeated, I think, ever. So we own London. Eagles haven't been in a while, I don't think. And then we get the Colts, the Steelers, the Bills, and then the Colts again. All teams that we own. The Steelers pretty much are bad. We get the Titans again, we lose to them. And then we get the Redskins, the Dolphins, and the Texans, who I think we can probably beat all 3 of those teams. So that puts us at 13-3, and I think the Jaguars are going to get the number 1 seed in the AFC this year, in the playoffs.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot take.
I can see that only because the Patriots and Steelers have also regressed.
Yeah.
But we are a younger team than them. Again, only one playoff berth in recent
with
memory.
The score, yeah.
And my problem is, 1, this is a much harder schedule than last year.
Yeah.
And 2, we got so lucky with injuries last year. I mean, besides Robinson and Hearns, nobody got injured. And I mean, we obviously didn't need them with the emergence of Cole and Westbrook. So if this team could stay healthy, I could see 11 or 12 wins. I think 13's too much.
13.
I don't like it because of Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles.
I know you love him. I love him. I know the city of Jacksonville loves him after its 88 rushing yards and 87 passing yards.
That's
against
raw.
The Bills.
That's
but
literally raw.
He's not above average.
He doesn't have to be above average. He can be an average starting quarterback in NFL, and this team is still the most complete team in the league.
Teams with average quarterbacks don't win 13 games.
Yeah, until now. It's game time, baby.
That's a fair point.
That's
okay.
a fair time.
Okay.
There's never been as complete a team as this with this dominant defense, I think.
This defense has a chance to be one of the best in history.
One of the best in history, even with the Bears of the 80s and with the Ravens of the 2000s. I think this is one of the best defenses ever.
Definitely the potential. Just so much talent.
So much talent. And if they stay healthy,
Blake.
even if 4 of our defensive linemen get hurt, the 4 that'll remain will still be better than most teams in the NFL, which is, disgusting. So, that's good. I think the Jaguars get a Super Bowl berth, and I think the Jaguars win the Super Bowl this year against whoever the NFC throws at them. That's a spicy take. I think the Patriots are washed up, and the Steelers are washed up. The Chargers always choke, and the Chiefs always choke.
I can feel Jags-Vikings. Or Jags-Packers. Tony Romo predicted Jags-Packers.
Jags-Packers, I'd be fine with that.
That would be a fun game.
They play right into our strengths. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers kind of, ooh. All right, so now that we've done this, finished the little ranking part, we're going to go to who we think the best player in this division is. And so, who do you think that is, Jake? Who do you think the best player in the AFC South is?
The people of Duval are not going to like me for this answer, but it is DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm not with that. I think, in my personal opinion, my humble opinion, I think that Jalen Ramsey is the best player in the AFC South by a good margin. I think that he's big, he's fast, he talks trash, he locked up DeAndre Hopkins as a rookie. He was a rookie when they really went head to head last, and he shut down DeAndre Hopkins. He had 3 passes defended on him. He didn't score, I don't think. Or he might have scored a garbage time touchdown because we were winning so much. And Jalen Ramsey is just a beast. He's the highest rated cornerback in Madden. They jibbed him 2 points, only gave him a 97. So I think DeAndre's DeAndre's a good receiver, but Jalen Ramsey's better.
DeAndre's an amazing receiver. He's probably the second best in the league. I mean, he was
second best in the league.
Yeah.
He's better than Odell.
Yeah.
He's better than. He's not, okay. You're saying Antonio Brown's number 1, and DeAndre's 2.
It's a toss up between DeAndre and Julio for 2.
What about Odell? You don't think Odell's a top 2 receiver?
He got hurt.
He got once.
We don't know how he'll come back. If I see him healthy and he has 2,000 yards, then sure, he'll give you number 1.
2,000 yards? Holy crap!
Yeah, 200 in a game. Why not? Anyways, we're not talking about the NFC East yet.
Yet.
Spoiler. But I mean, DeAndre Hopkins he's had a bigger impact in the league at this point. I know he's been in there a few more years. He was in the top 10 of the NFL 100. Ramsey was only in the top 20. And I think I'll give Ramsey 1 more year to become an All-Pro again. And then I think he can top Hopkins as the best player in the division. But right now it's still DeAndre.
I think Jalen Ramsey has a bigger impact on the game than DeAndre Hopkins does in any situation. Jalen Ramsey gets in the minds of other people. Do you see the game with Cincinnati when he made A.J. Green punch him, a guy who's usually calm, collected? He made him throw him in the headlock, and Jalen Ramsey got wrongfully ejected, and they changed that rule just because of that thing. They changed the rule where now officials can watch the replay of what happened on the field to make the right call. Jalen Ramsey did not do anything that deserved an ejection against A.J. Green, but he got ejected. And so I think what's his face? Jalen Ramsey, he locks up the other team's best receiver week in and week out. And I think when we see them two go head to head this year, I think Jalen Ramsey will show you why he's better than DeAndre Hopkins, and he'll lock him up. I think DeAndre's okay. I also think DeAndre has inflated numbers because Deshaun Watson only threw to him last year. If you ever watched the Houston Texans game,
had 7 receiving touchdowns from Deshaun Watson.
Okay, well, if you watch the game, I watch a lot of Houston Texans games. Just Deshaun Watson threw a lot of balls to DeAndre Hopkins, and a lot of them were incomplete.
Because he's the best receiver on the team. And Deshaun Watson also only started 7 games. You can't say his numbers are inflated because of Deshaun.
They were pretty inflated, though.
He had Tom Savage throwing to him and still made his magic.
Yeah, okay, so Tom Savage is okay. I think Jalen Ramsey he's better. Jalen Ramsey locks up whoever, so. We'll see in this upcoming year, but I think Jalen Ramsey will lock up the other team's best receiver.
Well, we have
DeAndre Hopkins can't do that.
We have them splitting the series,
So we'll have to see. We will have to see. We'll see week 1 with the best. This might be the most exciting matchup in the NFL this year. Odell Beckham Jr. talking against Jalen Ramsey the whole game. They're gonna be drawing at each other.
It'll be great.
It'll be even more entertaining.
They better wear mics.
Oh yeah, it'll be even more entertaining than Josh Norman versus Odell Beckham. I think that's my call.
I like that.
Jalen Ramsey. All right, so we'll wrap that up saying that Jalen Ramsey is the best player in the division.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Should we throw up a poll on there on our YouTube thing? Can we do that?
Yeah.
A poll for who's the best player in the AFC South.
Put one on the Instagram too.
Oh yeah, we're doing that. I'm gonna do that. We'll do that right after finishing recording this video. But that's about it. Thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever, do all that good stuff. Tell your mom, tell your friends, tell Doug Marone, do all that good stuff.
Tell Tom Coughlin.
Oh, we're going to the training camp tomorrow. And we're gonna get some signatures and some quick clips. You know.
Quick clips.
That's me our intros. I just want to hear Jalen Ramsey just talk his little ghetto trash talk. I don't know. I want to hear him say.
We go in the Super Bowl and we gonna win this. We gonna
win that bitch.
Who's talking about this?
He's speaking into existence. He's like Kanye. Alright, but yeah, that about wraps it up. Thank y'all for listening. Subscribe, follow the Instagram at The Weekly Sportscast. We post some funny stuff on there and some good sports stuff. We're going to post a poll on there. And yeah, that's about it. Thank y'all.
See you. Have a good one.